Today, we will explore how you can continue to level up your leadership to inspire and lead with impact this year and beyond. This is the 30. Let's go. Again, thank you for joining us on this episode of the 30. If this is your first time, I certainly want to thank you. If this is our episode 242. If you've been with us from the beginning, thank you. Do me a huge favor. Go ahead and like the broadcast, like this episode. You can also share it if you're watching us from YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the 30 with Patrick. You can catch us there. Or if you're watching us from whichever channel, maybe you're watching us from LinkedIn, go ahead and share. You can also repost it and you can like it, comment, and let us know how we're doing. Our job here is to really provide you with necessary information to help you enhance your personal, professional, and spiritual lives. So thank you so much. We've been talking about leveling up your leadership in 2025. This is the second part in our series, part 2. So we want to take our time and go through. We're going to make this a 3-part series. So this is part 2. And I hope that you look back and reviewed part 1, because we talked a lot about making that shift, that mind shift, to become not just a good leader, but a great and exceptional leader. We talked about what it will take in order to level up your leadership this year. Whether it's in skill, but it all starts with the change in your mindset, right? So today we're going to continue that journey and help you to elevate your leadership, take you from where you are to where you desire to be. And we're going to talk about what can we do as we level up our leadership skill and acumen? What can we do to help inspire and lead with impact this year and beyond? So we know that, and we talked about this last time around, leadership is about more than just managing people. We talk about there's a difference between a leader and a manager, but leadership, it goes beyond that. Leadership is about influence. It's about really creating meaningful change and basically inspiring those around you to rise above where they are, helping them, inspire them, and influence them to accomplish their fullest potential. Overall, all of us as people, as individuals, as leaders, we generally operate below our potential. I was watching a speech that was given by Denzel Washington today, and he was speaking to the Colorado Buffaloes football team. He talked about the three P's: potential, purpose, and platform. And that was powerful when he talked about those three P's, right? The potential, in terms of your purpose and having a platform in order to accomplish and help others, where it's not about us. And as leaders, we know, as people generally, we know that it's not about us. Some leaders think it's all about them, right? The focus is about them. Everything is around them. But if you are going to elevate yourself to become a more effective leader, a leader that is known around who you are involved with, right? A leader when when people call or say your name, it directly correlates with effectiveness. Anyone can be called a leader, but we're talking about not just leadership, a good leader. We're talking about elevating you and leveling up to become a great leader and an exceptional leader. That's the goal, to become a great and exceptional leader. And if you're going to do that, the focus has to be not on you, but on others. We're called to serve others. We're called to help others. We're called to give back to others. Because when we go on, right, from this earth, we can't take anything with us, but we can leave something. We can leave something in terms of who we've helped, who we've served, right, and help them to become better. So the goal here is really to help you to elevate your leadership this year and beyond, to help you to be able to inspire and lead with impact. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Leveling up your leadership, leading with impact and influence. So, how can we do that? So, we're going to be, whether it's decision making, whether it's balancing empathy with authority. My goal in this episode is to give you a couple of ideas, a couple of traits, a couple of things that you need to focus on that will help you to elevate or to level up your leadership, where you're not leading with authority, but you're leading with influence and impact. So that's the goal of this episode. So let's start. The first thing that we're going to focus on when it comes to leading with impact and influence is realizing that we need to establish a leadership presence. What do we mean? I was talking to a group of men 2 weeks ago. I think it was, yeah, 2 weeks ago. We're talking about your personal brand, right? So when we talk about leadership and establishing a leadership presence, what is your brand, right? How are you showing up? How are others seeing you? Are they seeing you as the positive influence, or are they seeing you as negative, right? When you walk in the room, what do you bring? What do you bring to others? What do you bring to the room? Is it positive or negative? Are you depositing in others? Are you withdrawing from others? So let's talk about, how do we go about, and what does it mean to establish a leadership presence? We all know things have changed. The way we lead today is not the way, hopefully, is not the way that we've led 5 years ago or 10 or 15 years ago, because things have changed. We've seen one of the main changes is this rapid evolution of technology. We've seen technology change so quickly, and it continues to change. What tools we used even 3 years ago in our leadership journey to become more effective as a leader, those things have changed. One such tool that has changed our evolution that will help us to become more effective and efficient as a leader is AI, right? Technology that says moving at the speed of light. What we used to do, the tools that we used to have at our disposal last year, year before, 5 years ago, are no longer. And if we continue to use those tools, we'll be left behind. So there are changes in technology. There's changes in how we think in our organization. There's changes on our teams. So in a short period of time, we have gone through a rapid change. There's also changes in our expectations from our customers, societal expectations. There's also changes in the organization and the dynamics, the expectations. Again, also customers expect something different from us. What they expected from us 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that has changed, right? So our customers expect different. The organizations, our employees, our team members are also expecting more from their leaders. So we have to now learn how to establish that leadership presence. So how do we do that? So it's safe to say that leadership is evolving. How we lead our teams is evolving. How we approach it is evolving. People are looking for more. The roles we played as a leader or used to play as a leader is fundamentally different than the roles we play now. The expectations, as I said, is very different. So people are generally nowadays are looking, right, for greater transparency. They're also looking for the leader that exhibits greater emotional intelligence. So what does that mean? What does that mean? See, when we talk about leadership presence, the old thought was authority, right? We led by authority. You do it or else. Well, that model may work in the short term, but it doesn't work in the long term. The micromanaging model might have worked in the way back when, and it may work in the short term as you start to develop your team members, but over a long time, right? A long period of time, that doesn't work anymore. So the model of a leader leading by authority or leading by expertise, I'm the expert in this field, that's shifting. That has shifted. That has evolved. So when we talk about leading with a leadership presence, we're talking about understanding and connecting more. People are looking for leaders to connect more, those leaders that connect more with them. Right? People, whether it's your team members or whether it's a customer, people are looking for those that have a greater connection with them. Goes back, there's this quote that I use in our training all the time, our leadership training. And when I'm speaking with leaders and developing them, I use this quote. In the quote, I think it was Theodore Roosevelt who said this. I may be wrong, but you've heard me said this over and over again, multiple times. And the quote goes something like this: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it's about caring, it's about connecting with people on an emotional level. It's about having the emotional intelligence, what we call EQ, where the focus is not so much on authority, the focus is having more empathy, right? The focus is having that level of understanding, not sympathy, but empathy. The focus now is also when we talk about establishing a leadership presence, is as the leader becoming more self aware. How are you showing up? Right? Becoming more self aware of who you are around, becoming more self aware of what you say, how you say it. I'm not saying that you are going to be a perfect leader. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you will do everything well. I am not saying that. What I'm saying here is that it's a level of self awareness. Who are you? And who are you engaging with? Having a greater understanding of those that you are leading. Not I said leading, not managing, but having a greater understanding of those that are on your team, but self-awareness of you. What is your leadership style? And understanding of you. And be able to, when we talk about emotional intelligence, is it goes beyond empathy for others, but your ability to regulate yourself on more of an emotional level. Be concerned for others and not be concerned for you only. We've seen so many leaders focus on themselves as opposed to others. So, emotional regulation, self awareness, leading with empathy as opposed to power and authority. These things, these traits are seen as vital to leaders in today's age. So, when we talk about establishing a leadership presence, that's what we're talking about. See, leaders are expected to manage or to lead relationships more effectively. Leaders are expected to navigate conflicts. One of the things that we do in our training, we talk about when we're developing leaders, we talk a lot about what is the role of a leader. And we walk through the various roles of a leader on a daily or weekly basis. You are deemed a referee, right? You're deemed a babysitter. You're deemed the coach. So you have many roles that you do or you perform on a daily basis. But one of the key roles of a leader, the most important role of a leader, is to develop others for greater skill and ability. So part of that is really understanding who you are, understanding your team, understanding and be able to manage relationships with in the team when conflict arrives. And that's a skill. That's something that is learned. But having the conversation with your team and understanding the individuals on your team. I know you may be saying, well, Patrick, I have a lot of people that report to me. Well, that there may be something that we can help you with from a strategic organizational standpoint, right? Because you can only there's a certain number of people where you have direct reports. And I don't understand where individuals can have 30 people reporting to them. That doesn't make any sense. So it's something in the alignment of the organization where you have 25, 30 people that report directly to you. So that's on another topic. We can talk about that. You bring us in, right, to help you with your organization and you're based on strategic organizational management. So that's on another topic. But when we talk here about establishing leadership presence, we're talking about managing relationships. We're talking about leading with empathy. We're talking about the ability to navigate conflicts. We're talking about showing up in a positive manner as opposed to showing up in a negative manner. We're talking about the ability to adapt to the needs of your team. And how do you do that? By knowing your team, by building a professional relationship with your team where your team sees you not just for your knowledge and for your skill set, but also as a caring and empathetic person. So that's number one, right? The number one way in terms of leading with impact and influence in order to elevate your leadership is to develop or establish a leadership presence. The next that we're going to move to now is talking about cultivating a growth mindset. And you've heard me talk about this over and over again, right? The importance of a growth mindset, growth versus fix. So the growth mindset is the concept where you may not have all the skills necessary to become that exceptional leader that you desire to be. But the concept of a growth mindset is really having an understanding that you're open to development, but not just have the understanding, but you're actually executing. That you're going to classes, that you are going to training, that you have a coach, that you have made the decision that I'm not where I should be, where I desire to be, but I'm open to learning. I'm open to growth. And we know growth is something that we should all be seeking. The fixed mindset is, well, this is where I am. Um, this is, I'm not going to go anywhere. I don't know anything. This is how I was born. So I'm not open to receiving any further training or coaching, right? So the growth mindset states more in terms of I am willing to go to the next level through training, coaching, and development. So, why is that important in terms of cultivating a growth mindset? See, we talked about this last week in terms of great and exceptional leaders are the ones who are open to growth and actively seek growth opportunities, right? So you're having cultivate that growth mindset by actively seeking and establishing growth through training, coaching, or mentoring. So I encourage you as you as a trait, right, as a way of leading with impact and influence, is start to develop that growth mindset. That's the focus, not just develop it, but cultivate it. Let it be part of you. Let it be part of your DNA. So change from the fix to growth. Seek people out that's willing to help you. Go to trainings. Hey, call us at a Jackman group, right? Give us a call, send us an email. We'll be willing to help you and assist you with your development. So I encourage you to adopt and adapt a growth mindset by reframing the past, reframing what was, and now learning to establish what is or what should be or what can be, right? By fostering a learning environment not only for yourself, but more importantly for your teams. Because as a leader, you need to grow, but you also need to pull your teams along so that you can establish growth within your team. So we're talking about leading with impact and influence. The third way that we can lead with impact and influence, of course, is to develop and then or enhance the art of decision making. And when we talk about decision making, we're looking more specifically around strategic decision making. Be more strategic in how we not only approach things, but how we make decisions. So, what does that mean? So, when we look at strategic decision making, We're looking at it more from the lens of uh, are these decisions that we make professionally, spiritually, and personally, do these strategic decisions line up with our beliefs? Do these strategic decisions line up with our goals? Do they line up with our long-term goals while we navigate and work on our short-term goals and challenges? So we're talking about the art of strategic decision making, right? So that's one way of looking at it. And in terms of the importance of it, how good are you when it comes to strategic decision making? Do you know what that means? So that's what we are. This is our third one. This is our third trait. This is our third area of focus in order to lead with impact and influence. So, how can we become more effective in our strategic decision making? So, it's not about mastering the skill, right? Or at least um, because none of us are masters at anything that we do. But I want you to really think about it. If this is an area, so you have to do a self analysis. If this is an area where you fall short on, you have to turn that into a strength. So, how do we go about that? Here's an actionable tip for you when we talk about strategic decision making. Have you heard about SWOT, right? So, SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So, you can use a SWOT analysis to really outline where you are. So, you can use this to give you information that will help you to be uh, be more informed, that can help you to make strategic decisions or choices. Organizations do it all the time when we talk about strategic planning, right? When we talk about a strategic plan, we use it when we're helping organizations, a SWOT, to talk about what is the strengths within the organization, what is the weakness, right? What are the opportunities and what are the threats? So you can so you can use this for your personal, not just professional, but you can also use it not just the organizational, but you can use it personally and professionally for yourself or your team. When we talk about developing or enhancing the art of strategic decision making, what are the strengths of your organization? What are the strengths of you personally? What are some of the weaknesses? What are the opportunities and what are the threats? So utilize this as a tool to help you to provide information that will help or enhance or assist you, I should say, in making more informed and strategic choices. So I've just given you three keys, traits, areas of focus to help you to level up your leadership, to help you lead with impact and influence. This is part two. On next week, not not next week, but the following week, because next week we'll have a guest on. But in the coming weeks, I'm going to talk more about. I'll give you part three as to how can you level up your leadership in this year, because it is my belief that everyone should want to go to the next level. If you are a leader, if you are a good leader, if you are a great leader, it is my belief that everyone would like to go to the next level in their leadership effectiveness, would like to become a more effective leader. I don't believe that someone will wake up and says, I am the best leader there is. I am the greatest. Although there are some, right? There are some, but the majority of us as leaders would like to become more effective, would like to enhance our leadership skills, would like to get better as a leader, would like to go from great to exceptional, even if those that are exceptional or have led, are tenured, have led teams, be successful as leaders, there's another level to go. Think about the greats of the greats, right? Whether it's in sports or uh, whatever it is, you should never be comfortable where you are. You should always be seeking to improve. You should always be seeking to get to the next level. Because whenever we are comfortable, someone comes along and surpasses us. So you should always be looking to improve. How can I personally and professionally get to the next level? What do I need to do? And that's the growth mindset that we talked about. So, three things that we discuss on today's episode is one, to establish a leadership presence. Number two, right, is to help us to develop a growth mindset. And number three is to develop or enhance the art of strategic decision making. So, folks, that's about it for now. I want to thank you for being here. We look forward to having you on next week, in the coming weeks. So join us. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can simply send us an email at info@jackmangroupllc.com. That's info@jackmangroupllc.com. The 30 is a production of the Jackman Group LLC. You can visit our website at jackmangroupllc.com. I want to thank you. May God bless you and your family. We look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. Peace.